Hey everybody, Lachelle Weemy here, and I wanted to just take a few minutes and give you a sneak peek into the way that I organize my life. I literally had to figure out a way to organize my life because I was having a hard time with all of the things that were floating around in my brain. And anybody who's trying to accomplish anything cannot afford to have extra energy being expended somewhere where they don't need to. And I was finding that all of my ideas, all of the things that I wanted to do were literally just floating around in my head. And then I'd think of them and I'd tell myself I have to write that down. And all of that was just extra energy that I was wasting. And I needed to figure out how to get it out of my head and into something that could organize myself. And what's funny is that my word for this year was focus. And this tool literally has helped me do that. So I wanted to share with you guys a little bit of what I'm doing and really just want you to come along with me. If you want access to this Trello board, I will give this to you as my gift to you, and you can feel free to adjust it in any way that you want to, as long as you make a copy of it. And I'm going to show you at the very end how to do that. So you are going to want to definitely kind of stick with me here. Okay. So if you're unfamiliar with Trello, Trello is a really great tool. It's actually free. You can upgrade for different perks and stuff. I personally haven't. And the great part about Trello is that there's actually a free app on my phone as well. So I have access to my to-do list all the time, and I don't have to worry about carrying around a notebook with me or trying to find things. It's very visually appealing, so I get to see in big picture, which is how my brain works, what I have all cooking at once, and then it allows me to take those big picture ideas, break them down into bite-sized chunks, and then prioritize them. One of the things about me is that I absolutely love learning and I love creating things. So I could spend all day creating cool graphics in Canva or writing copy for my social media, or learning and listening to podcasts and reading books and all the things. But honestly, it's the tiny little things that we have to do each and every day, even when we don't feel like it, that's going to help us move the dial. So I knew that I needed to figure out a way to get those things down and then to reward myself for getting those done. And so I figured out how to do that with tricking my brain as well. And I have been able to figure out how to prioritize the things that I need to do first in order to really get myself into motion. And you guys, this has been a game changer for me. So the first thing that I wanted to do is to show you that I have a resource in here. If you click on this, it's going to give you a tool on how to format different things. So I just want you to know that it's there. Feel free to use it if you want to. Okay, next thing I do is have something called rolling tasks. So if there's something that you know that you want to do, let's say on a weekly basis, but you don't necessarily have a day of the week that you have designed specifically for that task, you can put it right here. For example, Reels is something that I really want to get in the habit of doing, and I want to do one for each day of the week, which means that there's going to be 7 of them. So if I click on this, I have 7 little dots, and as I do each one, I can just click them off, which is so cool. And when I'm all done, you're going to see that it turned green. Now, how fun is that? It makes me feel like I've actually accomplished something. You can assign yourself dates, due dates, and they will turn red if you are past the due date. So if that's something that gives you an idea of, oh my goodness, I really have to get this done, that's a way that you can do it. And then at the beginning of each week, I just come back and I edit. Oopsie, wrong one. I just uncheck it and I start over. And the reason I do them all in one day usually is because I don't always have my hair washed or makeup on, and I want to actually take advantage of the day that I have a clean shirt on. So that's my deal. So if there's some things that you do on a monthly basis that you want to just have in here so that you can remind yourself, like, that is a great way to do it. Okay. The next section that I have in here is really for my habit tracking. I have things that I want to do every single day. And when we do things every single day, they create a habit in our brains, right? So I created this way for me to keep track of all the things that I want to do each day. So for example, my miracle morning starts with mind, body, and spirit. So these are some goals that I have set up for myself: self-development, devotionals, affirmations, meditating or prayer, 10,000 steps by the end of the day, and I want to drink more water. So these are the things, and as I go, I can check them off. And at the end of the day, it turns green and it feels amazing. Okay. So the other thing that's really helpful when you're looking at your daily routines is if there's certain categories that you're noticing are not turning green because you haven't checked them off, and you start noticing week after week or day after day that that particular category is not something that you're checking off, that can be a way for you to coach yourself into thinking, what is my block there? Why am I not doing it? Do I need to delegate it? Do I need to make the system process easier? Do I need to make it more exciting and gamify it a little bit? There's different things that you can do, but seeing it visually day after day, week after week, and figuring out where you're stuck will absolutely help. Another thing that I will show you in here is my Instagram stories. Now, I personally want to make sure that I am doing stories several times a day. The more you do stories, the more likely you are going to show up at the start of people's story that they're being shown, the more likely people are going to see them. And so I do stories 3 times a day at least. And the first part of the day, I do something that's somewhat inspiring, that's going to attract the people who are like-minded like I am. The second thing I do is the behind the scenes, and that is something that I want people to just get an insight into my life. You think about stories as it's kind of like the back door of your life. That's what that is. And I'm going to show you, if you want to change things, all you have to do is highlight it and save, and it's right there. And so you can go down here, and then biz related. I have a skincare business. That's one of my businesses. And so I want to make sure that I'm posting something related to the skin every single evening. And so this is what I do. And so this is just a way for you to kind of keep up with that. And so I've added just basically the things that I do on a daily basis to keep myself moving, to keep myself consistent. I also do it to set boundaries for myself. So for example, Facebook Messenger can get really, really out of control. So I've done this so that I can keep myself to checking it morning and night, and that's it. So I'm not on my phone constantly all day long, but it does give me that incentive to check it off. So at least I'm not avoiding the task. And so I just check my Facebook Messenger morning and night. Same thing with my email, morning and night. And my notifications in Instagram as well. Sundays are the days that I have designated for myself to do a Facebook Live. So I threw that in here on Sunday. You're going to notice that on Fridays, I do my QuickBooks. So I threw that in here on Fridays. So you can do that so that you can get yourself in the habit of doing certain tasks that are on a weekly basis on a particular day of the week. And the other thing that you can do is you can put it over here if you want to. And then at the end of the day, I just want to give myself like the star, right? Like I've done it, right? And so these are the things that that get me going and gives me that visual that I'm doing the little tiny things each day that aren't feeling sexy and aren't feeling exciting, to keep myself moving forward. Okay, now this is where my big creative brain really, really needed to get a handle on all of the ideas that I had going on and all the things and all the tasks, and I had post-it notes everywhere, and it was just too much, right? So what I've done is I've created a way for me to basically be able to put down my ideas and then all the little tiny steps that go along with it. So for example, this is my brain dump. This is where I would, let's say I heard about a new program that I really wanted to research. So one of them lately was Group Track. So I need to sign up for Group Track. It's not necessarily in any type of overall category of big projects or ideas that I have. It's just a kind of a one-off. And so I'm going to put that right here. Now, the cool thing is that I can actually move this where I want it to go. So let's just say that it's something that I really, really wanted to get to this week, but it wasn't like a top priority. I can go over here and I can put it right here. Okay. Now, this is something else that I've been doing to kind of really motivate myself. Inside of here, I created a label that says done. Now, once I'm finished with it, I put that label in there and I see that it's done and it feels so good. And then I take this over like a little fun game and I put it under done. And I got to tell you that in my personal board, this row keeps growing and growing and growing, and it makes me feel like I'm actually accomplishing something. I don't know if you guys feel like this, but you just keep swimming and swimming and swimming, and you don't feel like you're actually getting anywhere. This is my way of telling myself that, Lachelle, you actually are accomplishing a lot more than you're giving yourself credit for. And so that is what I've been doing, is moving all of my tasks into my done tab. Okay. Now, I have these as just little ideas that are part of my big projects, but they might not be yours. So you can change these up. But for example, I really want to get better about creating my email nurturing campaigns. So I want to write my welcome sequence, right? So, and maybe I really, really want to get this done, but it's probably not going to happen until next week. I can take this and I can move it over to next week so that I'm reminding myself that I need to get this done, but it's not like something that needs to get done this week. And it's not something that I need to necessarily get done like at the top of the week, right? But let's say that I have been really, really wanting to start a podcast. I have my project, my big overall theme is podcast. And I'm looking through this and I'm like, okay, what can I realistically get done this week? I can say, all right, well, I'm going to realistically sign up for Podbean. And that's something that I know that I need to do because that's where I'm going to house my episodes, right? And I am going to research the microphone and the headphones this week for sure. And then if I get to it, I would love to be able to write the description of the podcast. And notice how I'm putting that and prioritizing it. And I might say to myself, well, you know what, Lachelle, you're more likely to get things done if you make something easy to get you started in motion, right? You cannot rely on your emotions. You have to put yourself into motion, and therefore your motivation will start to spiral. So maybe I decide that researching a headphone will be like the easiest task. So I can move the order I have in this so that I can make sure that I know that I'm doing the priority things that I need to get done in the order that they need to get done in. So it's super, super helpful for somebody like me who's a big creative, who's having a hard time breaking down all the things. Now, let's say that one of the things that I really want to do is start a YouTube channel. Okay. So I'm going to type in here an add list, and I'm going to move this over to the rest of my little tasky things, right? Now, what are some of the things I need to do? I need to decide on a name. I'm going to tell you to make sure to put the context of it in there, just because when you move it around in your tasks, you're not going to know what you're talking about. And then maybe I want to create a YouTube cover graphic. And maybe I need to decide on a day of the week to have my weekly YouTube show. Okay. Now notice how like these are all the things I'm literally brainstorming as many things that have to do with this project as I can. As things come up, I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to add that. I know exactly where to go. And then at the beginning of either the week, or you can even do it on a daily basis, you start moving these. Like, you know what? I'm going to see my friend Danielle tomorrow and she's really good at YouTube. So I'm going to ask her about what day of the week she should thinks I should be doing this. And so maybe I'm going to take this because I'm going to see her and I'm going to move it right here because I know that I can get that done right away. And let's just say that I go ahead and do it. I'm going to go to labels, done. And it feels so good to be able to do this. So I'm going to put this over here. Now, How cool is that? I just did one tiny thing that's going to help my big goal to move myself forward. So this habit tracker is amazing. This organization tool is amazing. It has helped me not only keep the daily disciplines in check so that I keep showing up and being the person that I need to be successful, but it's allowing me to get all my ideas out and basically done and starting to watch the progress of it. One more thing that I was going to show you is, let's just say that you have a friend that's really, really good at graphic design. And so you could delegate. Let's say I have a couple of assistants, so I actually have their names in here, but you can come over here and you can write, you can delegate to them right there. And you can leave yourself little notes if you want to in the description.